37-year-old cold case has been under the RCMP spotlight recently after a new tip came into the Pemberton RCMP on May 17, 2024. The SEA to Sky RCMP's General Investigation Section executed a search warrant at a property in Mount Currie on Wednesday, July 17th in cooperation with the Tribal Police Services and also with the assistance of the RCMP Integrated Forensic Investigation Services and RCMP Tactical Troop. The warrant is in connection to the historical disappearance of Stanley Peters Jr., who was reported missing from Darcy, about 38 kilometers northeast of Pemberton, in the year 1987. Pemberton, Darcy, Mount Currie, and the SEA to Sky are all near Squamish and Whistler, located north of Vancouver, BC. This is the area we're covering in this case. According to a police statement, Pemberton RCMP received information related to the cold case, as stated earlier on May 17, 2024. Since then, the investigation has remained open and active, with the goal of bringing Mr. Peters Jr. back home to his family. Police are tight-lipped on what the warrant covered, or if anything was recovered during the search conducted on July 17th and 18th. The investigation is led by the SEA to Sky RCMP. The Tribal Police Services Chief Officer Doss Cody states that they remain committed to supporting all efforts to finding Stanley Peter Jr., to provide closure to the family and bring healing to the community after all these years. The Peters family has spent the last 3 decades hoping to bring his remains home. His parents were told something very strange and blunt about his disappearance in 1992, that he was hit by a car in Mount Currie, hurled 15 meters through the air, and buried in a shallow grave. Stanley Peters was 34 years old at that time and believed to be hitchhiking back to Darcy, where he was from. Stan's 3 daughters have spent their adult lives searching for their dad's remains using maps. "We want to bring our dad's remains home," said Bernadette Dennis. 37 years is long enough. However, 2 men were charged, one with hit and run. Robert Dennis Williams was at the wheel, returning from a nearby wedding with 5 other passengers in his truck when Stan was struck. Lawrence Alvin Pascal was charged with obstruction of justice in February of 1992 after a tipster came forward with the secret. The tip was that Williams was at the wheel when Stanley was killed. The truck stopped and a heated argument began after they realized Stan was dead. They didn't know what to do with him. Then it was said that they placed him under a cardboard box in the ditch. It was also said that they put him in the trunk of a car at a nearby auto wrecker until they could deal with his body. Police laid charges without recovering Stan's body, and a trial ensued. Williams admitted that he was driving the vehicle, striking him and sending him flying 60 feet in the air, but argued that it wasn't a hit and run. Williams was also driving without a valid driver's license. Williams was also under the influence. Justin Nelson, one of the passengers, testified Williams got the others to agree and remain silent. The evidence was that Dennis Williams dissuaded Justin Nelson from calling for help, and the next day securing the agreement of other witnesses not to talk clearly establishes intent to avoid civil or criminal liability, said Justice E.R.A. Edwards in his judgment on November 16, 1994. Williams was sentenced to 18 months in jail. Welcome to Canadian justice. As for Pascal, the court heard testimony from John Jones, a band apprentice watchman at the time. Jones said he followed vehicles that left the scene. He testified he saw Lawrence Pascal dragging a body into the river, and that Lawrence yelled to some observers on the shore, "If you talk, I'll kill you." However, under cross-examinations, Jones said he wasn't sure who the person was that night, and that he was intoxicated. Pascal was later found not guilty of obstruction, unfortunately. Stan's 3 daughters, Bernadette, Lisa, and Sally, continue to search for their father's remains. They hope that one day the community of Mount Currie will be relieved of the decades of tension, and the secret to Stan Peters Jr. whereabouts will be released. If you have any information about Stanley Peters' historical cold case, please call the SEA to Sky RCMP at 604-932-3044 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477.